For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Supermarket sushi.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. It's me, your host, DVP. Don't bother me looking now. Just doing well. All right, what's going on? Today is the 13th of February. How y'all doing? Not February. It's the 13th of April. So we 2 weeks past April Fool's Day, so y'all ought to be done got that all out the system. Let me take my work stuff off. Y'all don't need to be knowing what I do for a living. I don't trust y'all like that. All right, so anyway, how y'all doing? I'm in a little trouble, little grief. I know I'm running a little late. Got me a new little job. You know, we trying to do some things here and now, but it's all good. Random Thoughts of DVP. This is a show created by me and my super producer Roy Evans at my JBN, where we unapologetically black, and he lets me speak my mind and you know, just have casual conversations with the masses, and I have to appreciate him for that. So what we are doing here is, as we go through some of this, what up, Solo? I talk about some things that are on my mind, just generally random thoughts. And the first random thought I want to get to, even though I'm a little late, I'm gonna get to the show program. So stay with me for a minute. I'm good, brother. I'm gonna need you for a second. Is, you know, I try to stay away from politics because most people ain't prepared for political conversations, and I'm okay with that. But that doesn't change the fact that we need to have some of these conversations to be informed. Oh, congrats, bro. My man Solo graduated in 8 days, so after the next show, he's gonna have 1 more day left, and he coming over to the dark side. Y'all seen, you know, I seen I believe politics in and of itself is a good idea. It's gone wrong because of so many different people and their own personal agendas. But like most things in life, you can have a personal agenda and still not hurt people in the process. I voted Republican, I voted Democrat. Just depend on who had the best agenda I thought for the masses, not necessarily for me, because I'm in great shape, but I'm not in bad shape. So anyway, I said all that to say the GOP people were screaming and hollering forever about Hunter Biden and what you did for him or didn't do or whatever. But they awfully quiet now that we talking about Trump's son getting 2 million from the Saudis. 2 million. Ain't that some shit? And this is my thing. And Solo know me. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It don't matter if you GOP or Democrat, black or white, Christian, Jew or atheist. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So we're going to call something out. And I said this in one of my posts. The biggest problem I got with Trumplicans is they want to call everybody wrong, but they ain't never said that 45 was ever wrong, which meant they cannot be trusted in their conversations. Because anybody who ain't never done nothing wrong and you can't find no wrong in them, you keep coming up with. See, Biden ain't been the best by a long shot. And I'm going to say this until forever, never, never. He's still better than 45. Somebody made a comment about, the economy was booming. The economy was booming when 45 first took office. For one simple reason. What's up, Travis? One simple reason. Obama. Trump inherited a thriving economy. 45 didn't make shit better. But they don't want to say that. Obama inherited a shitty economy from Bush. They don't want to tell you that. So yeah, his first 2-3 years, he was battling, and they'll blame him for that. But you can't really tell what the president has done till after they left, because they leave a legacy of all the things they asked. Most of them ain't gonna see no immediate change in the first year, 2, sometimes 3. It's what come after that where the change starts. What's up, Antoinette? But we don't like to acknowledge it because we do what we're told. And that's where we have pause. Because if they don't tell us it's a good thing, we don't repeat it. See, Ahmaud Arbery's killer got sentenced. There was a little white girl last week who got sentenced for a hate crime. Man, all that came about because of Obama, who didn't do nothing for black people. And on this monologue, this is my only thing, because we're going to get into the subject about, what is it that you bring? And I'm going to get it right now, because it's my fault I was pushing writing title. Do we give as much as we take? We love to say, what is somebody going to do for black people? What is somebody doing for us? But we don't ever say, what have we done for them? What have we done for them? We elected Obama. We got down. We got the Ferrari, but then we didn't get no gas station. We left the Senate and the Congress kind of where they was. So we left him there with a fight. Because we thought we had done what we were supposed to. Then we wanted him to do something for us, but we didn't give him the tools. Buy you a car. But if I don't give you gas money with that car, where you going to go? Now you got to go out and hustle for gas, which means you got to make deals that you don't want to do simply because I left you short-handed. But we always quick to say, what have they done for us? The vice president, everybody want to talk about her record. Oh, she did. But what about the good shit she did? What about the program she established? You don't talk about them because the talking heads who want you to repeat ignorance don't talk about them. Because when you get factual data, you keep on the same bad regurgitation of information. Did she lock up black people? No. No district attorney in the history of district attorneys in their role as district attorney has ever locked up anybody. The police did that. Now, if you want to attack police justice or police, I'm cool with that. Let's attack them for what they do. But again, when somebody get convicted, police ain't never convicted nobody. And over again, I always ask y'all, these judges who won't do the right thing, do y'all ever call their name out? Nope. You don't. Because you're scared. You'll talk about the police, you'll talk about the DA. But why is it we don't remember judge's name? My man Solo worked for the Marshals Department. I'm sure he know a couple of judges on site by name. But when somebody give us something false, and I'm not knocking her, I'm just using this as an example. For those of y'all that live in the metro Atlanta area, when Mayor Bottoms said that there will be no evictions in the city of Atlanta, she was speaking out of her ass. No disrespect to her, but Solomon's on here with me. Solomon, can the mayor of Atlanta stop the marshals from evicting anybody? And I'm going to give him the second answer because he with me right now. But the mayor of Atlanta can't stop no evictions. She does not have the authority or the power. So the statement that she made sounded good. It sounded good. And everybody was, yeah, she gonna do this, she gonna do this. When the mayor of Atlanta said that it's legal now to smoke marijuana in Atlanta, she was only speaking about what APD could do. Again, Solomon worked for the Marshal Department. DVP worked for the Sheriff's Department. Let somebody smoke weed in front of one of us, and then be like, "Oh, the mayor said I could smoke in Atlanta." She don't run NAM court other than maybe traffic court. Traffic court got city judges, and they fell for it because that's what they wanted to hear. But everything she said, bless her heart, was bogus. She couldn't stop NAM eviction. She couldn't stop NAM Fulton County employee from locking nobody up in the city of Atlanta. Not one. But we don't understand how politics works, so we speak ignorantly, and then we promote people who actually don't do us a good job. And again, I ain't knocking Mayor Bottoms, the person. I'm knocking Mayor Bottoms, the politician, because she said a lot of things. She cost the city a lot of money. She fired them officers who tased them students. Guess what? They came back. They got back pay. They got damages. They probably got a promotion. It was all for show. Everybody, yeah, great job. But when your taxes go, why? We got to understand how the system works so we can be more intelligent in our actions, so we can understand what we're doing. Know who to actually blame. Know who not to blame. Know what's what. So when we keep talking about what is somebody going to do for us, well, what are we doing for them? What did we do for Judge Brown? Nothing. We didn't know where she ran. Why? A judge's job is not to cater to black people or white people. Their job is to uphold justice. See, Solomon was a marshal. And I'm going to say this. I ain't seen Solomon in a minute, but cool dude. Our job ain't to treat blacks differently. It's to be fair across the system. Oh, what'd you do for black? Well, I didn't put some black people out. Guess what? That means he lose his job. Y'all ain't gonna support him. And if all you're looking for is for somebody who's gonna do something for blacks, I'm gonna tell you something. It's called agents of change. If you look for somebody to do something for blacks, look at the NAACP. Look at Lives Matter. Look at the people who said that they are there to help blacks out. Oh, none of them accountable. Some of these civil rights attorneys whose name rhyme with a former president, what do? They take your money. They sit there and tell you that they're there for you. They tell you this. They tell you this. And you still blame other people who ain't got nothing to do with it. Nothing. Now see, I can do my show. I can spread my knowledge about the law and the system. I can get Solomon to come on here to tell you about how to help stave off an eviction by not avoiding him, by answering the summons and doing this and this. I can tell you this. We ain't doing it to help black people. We're doing it to help people who want to know how to do better. The system will work for you. if you ain't scared of it. Scared of it. But instead, you'll blame everybody but the person responsible for your downfall. And sometimes, a lot of times, the person responsible for your downfall is looking you in the mirror while you sit back asking the question, what is so-and-so going to do for me? Well, ask yourself, and that's a great question. I want you to keep that in your tool belt. But before you ask that question, and the title of this show is, do we give as much as we take? Ask yourself, what have I done for myself? What have I done to make myself better? What have I done to make myself better? Write it down. See, we can sit here and we can negotiate the merits of increasing minimum wage. Somebody said, Bell, you one of them. You don't want minimum wage increase. Listen, I don't. Minimum wage is for high school kids, retirees. It's an additional. It's a base income. It ain't for career people. It's something to get you over. It's an extra allowance. See, most of us should be looking at careers. Well, we don't look at minimum wage because we know we're gonna get paid monthly, bi-weekly, but what we gonna make a year? We're not sitting there sweating this, sweating that. So we're not worried about minimum wage. And when you're working minimum wage, which I'm sure most of us have at one point or another, we weren't trying to be out there balling and living by ourselves. Most of us started out working minimum wage in 11th, 12th grade, but we lived with our parents. We didn't have no brand new car. We weren't trying to get no 3-bedroom apartment. We weren't out flossing and doing all this other dumb shit because we couldn't afford to. Minimum wage is not meant for you to live alone. Minimum wage is not meant for you to be at the club every other weekend. Minimum wage is just to get you started. See, Solomon finna retire. He done put in 20 plus good years. So now Solomon want to overspend on a car. He can. He been saving up for it. But it wouldn't have made no sense for Solomon to go out and buy a Ferrari when he first started. He wasn't making a whole lot of money. But we don't get that. What you gonna do for me? Well, what have you done for yourself? See, this whole college debt repayment thing. Man, he swear that. Well, I got an issue with that. Why should he get rid of debt that you signed up for? You signed up for this. Now, I believe if you got college debt and you working in a career field that you went to college for, yeah, go on and pay it off. But because you made a bad decision to go to college and pick some career field that wasn't going to benefit you or that you weren't going to work in, my fault, the government's fault, and anybody else's fault. Again, accountability and responsibility. You picked the crap career field. See, there's some career fields that can't be outsourced. There's some career fields that ain't going nowhere. See, realistically, nurses, they won't ever be handled by machines. Dealing with computers, I always need people. Mechanics, people. But some of y'all wanted all these little crazy careers to sound good and get in debt for no reason. I'm a huge fan of technical colleges. Learn to use your hands. You'll get paid more. You know, I was talking to some people the other day about some attorneys who could become attorneys. Hey, I ain't got no beef with attorneys. You disagree with Travis? I ain't got no beef with attorneys. But attorneys getting $80,000 to $90,000 going to school. I became a cop. It didn't cost me nothing to become a cop. Nothing. So I started out ahead of them. Even though eventually they might make more than me. They might. But when they start making more than me, how far in debt have they been? And it's been so long where I didn't have that issue. So you keep getting that debt and ain't nothing wrong with it. But makes sense. All right, here we go. See, we're doing a little different today. Because Travis, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to call in and explain yourself, sir. We got a call-in number today. We're trying something different. And the call-in number is 678-459-4236. Feel free. And let's talk. But what we got to do is we have to start understanding what the age of the change is, and we got to start asking, what is somebody going to do for me? What are you doing for yourself? Once you start doing for yourself and you get to certain positions, then you can look to other people to help you with stuff. Again, I'm going to pick on Solomon. Solomon worked for the Marshals. I worked. But on more than 2 occasions, we ended up helping each other out. But I didn't do his job. He didn't do my job. We helped each other with each other's job because we already had a base for knowing what we were doing. Well, what can you do for me? Why is that such a big deal? Why do we take more than we want to give? We always want somebody to give us something. We don't want to put nothing in. We fed, but we don't want to contribute to the grocery bill. We want to go to parties. We want to hang out, but we don't want to pay for drinks. We want, and I'm talking about men right now, we want submission. We want this. We want that, but we don't want to do nothing for it. Let me see. Caller here. Hey, caller, welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. What's your name? Where you calling from?
You know, this Travis, Atlanta.
What up, Trav?
What's going on, Brother Bell?
It's your world, man. I'm just sitting here playing thing. My producer wanted to try this call-in thing. I figured it was going to be you calling. So what's you disagreeing with me about that, sir?
Well, I've always been a proponent of course, paying your debt. But once you start looking at how broad a spectrum that is, that's what gets me. Like, for instance, we all know that do you have debt? Did you have college debt?
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I did, because I ended up going to school after I had been a cop for 15 years.
I didn't either. You know why? Because I knew how to play football. See, people, it's not fair to me that kids who maintain a 3.0, 4.0 GPA in high school, but just can't afford to go to school, either they have to forego continuing their education, or they can go take out student loans, pay for their schooling, and then when they get into the field they're into, they're going to go broke, literally trying to pay back all that debt from the loans. I don't agree with that. I think there should be a clause in debt forgiveness, but I understand what you're saying. To balance out the budget of the deficit of this country, people need to pay their student loan debts. But what about the people who didn't have to pay for it? You know, celebrity children, athletes' children who went to school completely paid for and got a Porsche out the deal. I mean, to me, I just don't think it's fair. I mean, that's just my take on it.
And because we got these exceptions, and see, that's one of them things that when we looking at the system, we have to. They've even asked, a few of them even asked for it. Some of these billionaires want to pay more, but why should they get audited for trying to do it when IRS going to come in and gig them? But there's no reason that me and Bill Gates are paying anywhere. There shouldn't be equity in what we're paying. But you know, when the GOP don't want to admit that what Trump paid $75 one year, that is insane. That is insane. So at some point we know this need to be one of our marching orders. Let's fix some of these tax hole loops for the rich. You know, when the pandemic hit, and me and some people were tossing around ideas of how they could make it easy for people. And I ain't the smartest guy on the block. I'm smart enough to hold my own with most people. But why didn't we give all the essential workers, why didn't we just let them start working tax-free? See, you ain't got to give them nothing. All you got to do is stop taking from them. See, there are ways on everything. But the people who say they advocate for us, not the president, not justices, not police chiefs, the NAACP, BLM, yeah, even AFL-CIO, not AFL, yeah, AFL-CIO. Why don't these people do it? Why aren't we holding them accountable for not making the system better? Whoever it is that organize all these grocery store workers and all these fast food workers, none of them should have had to pay taxes during the pandemic. Not a single fucking one. Wouldn't that have been a financial bill not to have to pay FICA?
Yeah,
How
it
hard
would have
is
been.
that? But who suggested it for them? Nobody. None of these people who speak for the downtrodden, those who are below the poverty line, as we talk in Antoinette, nobody speaks to them. It's all quiet when it comes to poor people. And part of the reason it's all quiet for us, again, agents of change. We love to brag about the fact that we don't vote. We love to brag about the fact that we don't do jury duty. So not only are we unheard, we are unseen. We get on social media and gripe and complain and moan. Who on social media can fix? Because most of your friends don't know shit. So when I started this show, it's because people, when I kept going with it, people say, hey, you got a knowledge you need to share with people. You know people, you can get them on here to talk about stuff. And it sucks.
Agreed.
The worst part about my show, swear to God, is everybody I'm talking to don't need this. Antoinette don't need a lesson in financial responsibility. Travis don't need this. The people who know shit like standing around people who know shit. The people who don't know shit like standing around people who don't know shit. Debt forced black folk back in indentured servitude. Yeah, no, forced us back into that because as opposed to, I was talking about this earlier. As opposed to this BS about Christopher Columbus, all this BS we taught, art, history, and all this other stuff. When do they teach financial literacy? See, when Travis is in the 11th grade and getting ready to be a productive member of society, they want him to know the meaning of pi. They want him to know the rate of gravity. All time ain't gonna never use in the workforce. Never. And what Travis went to school. We cool. I don't know what Solomon went to school. I don't know where Robert went to school. I don't know where Antoinette went to school. But I'm going to ask all y'all the question. The same exact question. Did anybody ever tell y'all about a paycheck and all these people you got to pay taxes to and how to, zero dependents, one dependent, two dependent? Did you ever get that in high school before you hit the workforce? Anybody? No. And some of us went to school half a day and we went to work the next half. But nobody still taught us anything about joining the workforce other than go to work.
No, just
go to work. 1,000 years later, and I'm being facetious, 1,000 years later, we know that this shit ain't work. But when we fuss about stuff, and don't get it twisted, Columbus Day thing should be gone. But why don't we talk about them getting financially educated before they hit the streets? Because we know most of us ain't going to college. So what happens is, Antoinette, we go into the workforce ignorant. We live from paycheck to paycheck because nobody tells us how to save. See, in 11th grade, when we working at the grocery store or wherever it is we working, somebody should have taught us about a savings and a checking account. Somebody should have taught us about what credit is. So that now we get this check, somebody should say, hey, Travis, you're going to go out here and you're going to work this job 20, 30 hours a week. Travis, they're going to give you $100. Because back then, when Travis older than me, back then, when minimum wage was $3.35, $3.75, something like that. So you can get a paycheck for $100. Uncle Sam going to take 23%. That take you down to $76, $77. The state of Georgia is going to take $15. That take you down to $6. So out of this $100 that you was planning on getting and doing shit with, Travis gonna take his girl out. He gonna buy some shoes with this $100. But now he just lost $38 just like that. Travis thinking, what the hell? He done made all these plans. So Travis got in debt because nobody ever told him, don't look for this $100. Look $62. So Travis, tell your girl you're gonna take her out in 4 weeks instead of 2, so you can let this money build up. This date that was gonna cost you $65, now you can budget for it better. But Travis done already told this pretty girl he was gonna take her. He can't take her out. But Travis got to save face because He don't want to let this. He don't want the girl. Nobody taught us financial literacy, and each and every day when we talk about community need, who, you know, I taught it to my kids, but we didn't learn it like that. So why ain't that something that we pushing for when we know it's necessary? We need to know more about financial literacy, and I hate to put this on the thing. We need to know more about financial literacy than we do Black history. Because if we don't get financial literacy, we ain't gonna never, ever, I don't care what we do, we ain't gonna never, ever come close to getting halfway to the top. Because we're gonna keep spending money wisely. We're not gonna understand credit so that we can pay prices for stuff in the long run, because our credit score is so low, we're paying 30% interest. Whereas if you get a higher credit score, you're paying 6% interest. That adds up over time. Nobody tells us, oh man, when you get that first credit card, just make sure you pay the monthly minimum. Which is the dumbest things to do. Paying the monthly minimum will leave you broke. You're not gonna get ahead. Nobody tells us how to do these things. So the poverty that we stay induced in is one, the lack of ignorance. Two, because we don't talk about it enough. Let's see, Sam says a lot of minimum wage workers that were forced to work during the early days of the pandemic got most of the federal tax they paid refunded back when they filed their taxes. And that's a cool thing, but it came later. And as I said, Samuel, they shouldn't have been taxed at all, in my opinion. And I'm just one man. But all these essential workers, they should have never been taxed. Even when we go to some people who didn't make bottom of the barrel money, policemen, doctors, nurses, all of them, none of them should have paid taxes. None of them. And we can sit back and blame other people again. Ladies and gentlemen, you still with me, Travis?
Yes, I am.
Or did you leave? Who, Travis? Who claims to represent Black people? Who claims to look out for our betterment?
That's a good question. Who?
But ain't that the NAACP? Ain't that their job? What does NAACP stand for?
You talk about civil rights, or you talk about financial rights?
We're just talking about making it better for us, period.
Oh, then NAACP, SCLC, Black Lives Matter, I guess.
SCLC. But nobody ever asks, what are they doing? These are people that we pay into. We give them money. Even to a lesser extent, a slightly less extent, most of our churches. For us. You don't ask them, but you want the president who's responsible for a country to look out for a select group of people. Oh, well, that's what they've been doing. So if you know that's what they've been doing, why are you expecting something different? That will fall under insanity. So are we insane?
No,
but you can't have it both ways. No, but we're talking about politicians here, even with the churches. What are the churches doing? Even when we get to the point of, has anybody said, what has this Greenwood Bank done that Killer Mike then was pushing? Every time I ask the question, can anybody tell me a good story about this bank? I get crickets. But what, 4 or 5 years ago, it was telling us all to put our money in their bank because they was going to start helping out with loans and rebuilding, revitalizing Black neighborhoods. Wasn't that the theory behind going to the bank, putting our money in Black banks?
That was the theory.
So with all them people, when did it happen? It still ain't happened. It ain't even starting to happen. But we became so pro-Black that we want to promote each other. And listen, I'm telling y'all, if you have business, if you can buy Black, do it. But buy Black from a good, reputable business. Don't just buy Black to say you buy Black. Because BLM doing. And when I spoke out against BLM, people with me because I was raining on their parade. Not my problem. If I give you facts, you have to refute my facts. I ain't telling you how I feel. Now, when I say I don't like them, that's how I feel. What's up, y'all? And we're not talking about governmental power, though. We're talking about helping. And see, that's the difference. The government is supposed to be for the people. NAACP ain't for the people. The church ain't for the people. The church is its parishioners. And these are the people who say they're going to take us somewhere. You know, when I talk to a couple of pastors, I wish I would have invited one on my own. I do security at churches. But for those y'all that go to church, y'all know that come election time, your church is gonna have a politician or two, and the pastor gonna shuck and jive with them and shake hands and talk about how they're a great person and how that's who we should vote for. But when shit go wrong, do you ever see that politician again? Churches are supposed to be apolitical. I read the charter. They're not supposed to, but they do it so that the politicians can get voters. But when shit go wrong, what happened? So at some point, until we demand that financial literacy be taught, we're gonna stay in the dark. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. But Yolanda says taxes are a legislative responsibility, and I get that. But why didn't somebody propose that to them? They propose everything else. They propose everything else. We talk about guns. We talk about abortions. We talk about birth control. We talk about renaming streets. We talk about all this other stuff. But when are we going to talk about finances? Barry? And so at some point, we got to stop blaming people who are not the agents of change that is not in their wheelhouse. We got to go to our responsible people. Stop running from jury duty. We got to stop running from elections. I ain't voting for nobody. Malcolm said use the ballot like your bullet. You're gonna die with all your bullets. There are very few politicians who will be the best. You gotta pick the better. And yeah, sometimes you gotta pick the lesser of two evils. You know, I made a post about getting rid of Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Prince, and I forgot who the other one was. Everybody like, oh, I don't want to play this. But if one got to go, you ain't got a choice. You pick one, we get rid of all of them. And that's what we don't want to do. Oh, I don't want to pick neither one. When you don't pick, what happens? When you don't pick, what happens? Somebody picks for you. Did you have something else you want to say, Trey? I want to blow you away.
No. I'm listening. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on that thing. But other than that, I'm fine with everything you're saying.
Okay. So yeah, Luther. And you know, hey, it's like what was a movie? Oh man, we was just talking about this too, where somebody broke into a house and the lady had 2 daughters, and the guy said, "I'm gonna kill one. Pick which one you want to die." And she said, "I can't." He said, "If you don't, I'm gonna kill both of them." Well, I don't want to have to pick. And life ain't fair. Sometimes we don't get 2 great choices. Sometimes it's just the way it is. And we have to learn that sometimes the lesser is still better for us. We can't keep calling everything symbolic. Oh, they're giving us some more symbolism. They gave Obama, he didn't have no power. Well, we elected Obama, and then we took the power away from him by not following up because we didn't understand how to vote. We didn't understand. We didn't know what the Senate and the Congress do. So we didn't continue to vote to give him people who could help push his agenda. Roy, can more than one person be on the phone? I can't. If you show me your face, you can rock your head or something. What no, they can't. Yolanda. Hey, Travis, let me get you off the phone so Gary can call in, please, sir.
Sure.
You got anything? You got any questions for me? Thank you, sir. We got to get you back on so we can chop up some good stuff.
Okay.
I know you got some shit you want me to start. Again, that call-in number is 678-459-4236. And thank you for calling. Appreciate the show. Travis got a show that come on Tuesdays.
Yes.
7 to 9. What's the name of it again, Travis?
8 to 10. 8 to 10 is called The Point with Travis G.A.
I'm sorry. 8 to 10 called The Point with Travis. You can look it up on Facebook. Join the group. He's super. And he got an opinion. He gonna talk about good cops, bad cops, and all the other stuff. So go ahead. All right, thank you, Travis. If people
All
do
right.
not understand how it works, they need to go back to grade school. What is grade school gonna do? If they didn't pay attention then, they ain't gonna pay attention now, Sam. What we gotta do is, that's why I posted the video by Yellow Pain, just to give them a thing, because most of them don't remember Schoolhouse Rock. A bill is a bill, and I'm just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol. You know how it go. Because I only heard one ring, or did you answer it? Hey, Carl, welcome to Random Thoughts of DVP. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Nope, nobody called in yet.
Oh, okay.
That was me hanging up.
And okay, I got to learn the different sounds. And they don't have to go. You can Google damn near everything now. And I don't know when you came in, but it's like I said, the suckiest part of this show, and I use that, is that most of the people who are here already have an idea. So I'm kind of preaching to you. I mean, I love the fact that we can go back and forth, because Sam, you know, you give me a lot of good ideas. Try one time, Gary. And that's what I love. But we need to branch out and teach other people. We need to branch out. You know, I can't blame my mama for didn't know. She was doing the best she could what she had. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have easily accessible things so that we could get there. But now that we do, our kids should be they should be leaps and bounds smarter than we are about finances. They should have this down pat. Put them, instead of giving them allowances, put them on a payroll, write them a check, take out taxes, do the whole thing. I know it's work, but you're teaching them something. You're teaching them something.
Caller's on.
And it'll carry over. Caller, welcome to Random Thoughts for DVP. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Bell, this is Sergeant soon to be retired Gary Solomon.
Hey man, I ain't calling you. I'm gonna just keep calling you Solo. So what it do, Solo?
What's good, man?
What's happening with
you? Nothing much. Hey, man, you know, like I said, it's funny though that your first thing would be on a subject that really kind of resonates with me, because personal responsibility, and I don't know where it started. I don't want to say Uncle Sam gave it to me, but I have never wanted anything from anybody. I was always happy with, my own, the strength of my own, of what I had, was satisfied with what I got, and worked even harder to get something more. Now,
but even when we do this, we know it's people who looking to get ahead by doing. I ain't gonna call no names, but especially in your office. But that's just because I got insider knowledge. But why did I respect you? Why did you respect me? Because we worked. We didn't sit back. Somebody was gonna do something good for us. We went out there and just made shit happen.
that's why you look up and say that, even in this at this time, in this time frame, it was time. It was time for me, to go, because it's like, okay, look, I can always bet on me, because I'm the surest bet in the world. I know what I'm capable of. So it doesn't. I have no fear of leaving the county. I have no fear of leaving anything, because I've learned in this, this lifetime that, look, I did enough to take care of my retirement. This is
right.
all. I said, this is about me, and I said that the possibilities of strengthening, things, for my family. What is insurance, what is making sure that the house is paid for. I'm just in love with the ideal of finally doing something that I wanted to do. I don't really think I ever really wanted to stay in the military. I was just smart enough to stay. If I could say one thing, I would say that we so easily led astray as people tug on the passions of, like I say, the tug on the passions. This is how they, this is how they pull you in. This is how tribalism happens. Like in politics. Scared to say that if you're a Democrat and if they're crooked, are you scared to call it out?
Absolutely.
We quick. I said we quick. Let something pop up about Trump. Like I said, I don't particularly care about Biden's son though, but but like I say, hey, they all the same game. If you're gonna call out one, call out the other.
And that's all I'm saying. Because Trumpers won't ever say anything bad about Trump. So we just take them serious.
No.
You work with me. And if we're being honest, Solomon, is there anybody who didn't think I had a little bit of shady in me?
You know what? I said, Bill, I've always looked at you was kind of like a little bit ahead of your time. As as far as the deputy concerned. But I don't, I never thought of you as a shady person.
But we ain't talking about you. We talking about your coworkers.
Yeah.
Your coworkers.
Yeah, but but hey, it is what it is. Like I say, yeah, we have some dirty people, people that will overlook a career of other people, for the sake of making somebody else happy you comfortable with.
Yeah, they want quick self gratification. They don't want to do nothing for people. They want everybody to do something for them, and that was one. That's why I picked some of y'all to deal with. Remember, even in my troublesome times, I called specific marshals when I had an issue or when I wanted something, because I knew who I could count on that was going to actually do some work and not sit there and be trying to, oh, let me call somebody else. So yeah, I had my 4 or 5 marshals on speed dial because y'all were about the business of helping, not of the business of, oh, if I do this, what am I going to do? What? This ain't what we signed up for. We signed up to help people. We didn't sign up to be helped by people.
No.
So it's like, and that's why I say, we got to get out of that mentality of what can somebody do for me. One of the greatest phrases my dad gave me, and it took me a minute to learn it. Do what you have to so that you can do what you want to. And that just was my mind. You set up everything for this day so you could retire in 8 days. Once you got everything set up, you don't have to do anything else you don't want to do. But you got to have a plan to set shit up so that, man, you know what? When I knew I knew what all my bills were. And it was pretty much a bonus. When I got this house, I knew what my retirement was. I based me buying this house on what my retirement check was, because it ain't going to stop. It ain't going to get no lower. Everything else I did fell into them parameters. So I wasn't going to become financially irresponsible because I understood money. I built my credit score up. These are things that we can do for ourselves. Now I can ask people, well, what you going to do for me? When I call somebody now and negotiate a price, well, what you going to do for me? Because I got where I'm supposed to be. I did what I was supposed to do.
It makes it so much, like I say, that the things that I set up now because of the confidence that I can walk in and and say prices with a straight face, because it's like I say, because you know me, or you know of me, you know what I'm bringing to the table.
And that's what we got to stop hoping for. People who we know don't mean us no good. We know that certain people don't. Why would I hope that if I call a certain marshal, that be like Solomon or Deidre? Why would I even put myself in that position? No, they're not. I know they're not. Solomon and Deidre didn't ask me no bunch of questions. Solomon and Deidre weren't worried about me taking them up under either. So they didn't like, let me call you back. Let me ask so and so first. Because if we don't, when we get a bunch of people who do for ourselves, it's easy for us to combine and make things better.
No.
But we depend on everybody else.
You know, what you like I say, if I, you know, everybody that's in the chat, I'm, you know, social media, you know, Instagram and Facebook, it's become this phenomenon because take the negative out of it for a minute. But there are people that's literally now they're trying to pull you into a business because they have a business, you know, or anything else about it. But I mean, but every secret that about credit that was so hidden is not hidden no more. Finances, it's not hidden no more. It's like, and you at a point where it's never too late. It's never too late. You can start today to your, you know, to your freedom, and finances got a lot to do with it. But that mindset of what somebody doing for me or what somebody's going to do for me, I said, lose it. Lose it. I expect, you know, I take people at face value. I expect no more than who you are.
But
I'm never
and
surprised.
it goes back to.
I'm never surprised.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, I said, I am never surprised by people because I take you for who you are. That's leaders, politicians, entertainers. I said, you are who you are. I make you no more. I say I make you out to be no more than what you are. So I'm never surprised, you know, or anything else that matter. And just the very fact that I haven't leaned on nobody, I don't depend on nobody. You know, it's a free. I mean, man, that's a freedom. You know, I mean, that's a freedom that I can't even describe. Like I said, that you know, that in 8 days, and I'm not even 60. I'm not even 60 yet, and I got two retirements. It's still the ability to go out and, like I say, but you know me, and you know my situation with my son and everything else that matters. Like I say, that he was the driving force for me to look up and say that, hey, I got to invest in him. I need the time. I need the time to do it. So, and changing
And this is
mindsets
what's got
and
to drive
everything else
us.
that matters. You know, I look up and say, you know, I look up and say that, hey, what you're not expecting. I go walk into PTA meetings and IEP meetings, you know, with my son and everything else that matter. But you know, I walk in with the expectation of, you know what, it's not your responsibility to do it anyway. It's mine. So let me tell you what I want. Let me tell you how long you got to do it before I make changes. And I said, look up and say that. And don't think I won't come for your money, the money that you're getting for him. You know?
But
So,
we got to know this. And you know, one of the guys that said, you know, the government and credit agency advertise on the day what people can do to help themselves. We still the same people. We don't want to read shit unless it's entertaining. Becoming fiscally responsible is not easy. And we don't want the accountability and responsibility. We want somebody to do it for us so we can have somebody to blame. Once you got to put in that work, start paying your own bills on time, see, now you got to do a little something different. Now you can't just take off work because you don't feel good. Because it's many days I ain't felt like it, but I had a plan. I got to go to work because this is what I'm going to do. And as Solo said, kids, man, they make you a little bit, they make some of us a little bit more responsible. Some of us, it make us a little bit more irresponsible because we don't want the responsibility that comes with having a kid. We just wanted the joy of having a kid, not the responsibility of raising a kid. And that's on us. And don't get me wrong, the system is a lot to blame for things. But again, if you know the enemy and you know what they're doing and you keep falling for it, that makes you stupid. That makes you stupid. I know this guy ain't don't mean no good, but I'm gonna call it. Maybe this gonna be the one time Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. What did Solomon say? Solomon said, I bet on myself. See, I know who I am and I know what I'm going to do. I know how hard I'm going to try. I'm going to bet on me. But if I'm sitting back waiting, well, I can't do this. I got to wait for Solomon to do this first. I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting on that. You steady waiting. When all this literature is out there, you got social, you got Google, you got all these search engines. There are very things you search for your damn self and figure out how to get them done.
I'm gonna tell you
Say it
something.
again, sir.
I'm gonna tell you something. The most boringest book I ever read was Warren Buffett. The most effective book I've ever read was Warren Buffett. And you know, because maybe, you know, sometimes the game don't come from the streets. You know, all these guys
we just looking on the wrong street.
All these guys out here are bigger pimps than you can ever imagine. They know the system inside out.
And you got to, and if you don't know it, get with people who do.
That's exactly. Oh, but they're freely. You know what, Bill? It's like they're freely. You know, the thing about successful people, that if you ever engage them in a conversation, they're more than happy to tell you.
One time, because people don't believe me. They more than happy to share how they did it and give you all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff.
You know, I had a couple of brothers that literally took me under mentorship. At first, you know, I thought it was like he was trying to pull me into something. No, they never asked me for a dime. They just looked up and said that, hey, let me help you get you set up in this. Told me, like I say, to look up and say what to think of. I'm leaving a part-time job now that look up and say that, you know, that and Dale, you knew about the part-time hustle.
Yeah.
I was like, but you know, on the LLC, and I wound up getting about $5,000 back, all because I kept studying to look up and say that, hey, if I'm going to go out here and make this extra money, I'm not about to be a prisoner to Uncle Sam come tax time. You're not about to put them shackles on me.
Solo, how many people have we seen in our line of work for our coworkers who be like, yo, let me do your tax. I can guarantee you're going to get this. And there's no way you can guarantee me something without seeing it. But they go for that quick money. Then when they get audited, they panicking. See, that ain't what we want to do. Because I ain't got time to go to prison. See, I let them take out extra taxes working part-times.
We look up and, like I say, we the law. I say we the law, and quicker to sometimes want to break it than, like I say, to look up and say that, hey, if it worked for Warren Buffett, if it works for them, it works for us. You know? But you know,
right.
but
and we say,
you're right about
I ain't got his kind of money.
You know, you don't have his kind of money because you know what, Bill? Like I say, the one thing that they all have in common is they don't use their money. They're masters at using other people's money.
Right, but they even when they doing that, they doing it for foolishness. They ain't doing that that's going to kind of return on investment. If you know, I tell people, if you're gonna play basketball, buy you some Jordans, buy you a great pair of sneakers if that's what you're investing in. But we invest in stuff that has no return on investment. None. I bought a pool stick. Listen, I can buy a pool stick for $35, or I can keep renting one for $2. So if I'm gonna learn how to play pool, why would I keep renting a stick when I can just buy my own? Oh, everybody ain't got like you. I bought my stick from the pawn shop for $35. I could have went online and got a brand new one for $400-500. I ain't playing pool like that. But see, we so caught up, we want the latest and the greatest and the newest. All we need is functional. Somebody said, you like BMWs, why you keep getting the old ones? I like the old ones. I don't want one of the new ones. They hard to maintain. I don't like the way they look. Oh, but with all the money you making, you should get, so I should get something that you want for me? How much sense does that make? I ain't trying to show out for nobody. I ain't trying to show out for nobody. That's one of them things you get as you get older and become mature. You know, when we're young, yeah, we do a lot of crazy stuff because ain't nobody teaching us nothing. Nobody taught us. Look, you know, Uncle Sam taught me about money. When I was in basic, they taught me, hey, once you learn about $700 a month, when you get your next raise, you make $850, put that $150 somewhere else. Every time you get a raise, increasing your standard of living, increase your savings rate. Most people don't even know that. They just keep doing this. I was talking to a young boy the other day, and he said, man, how you get the Ford stuff?
Because Dale, if you get rid of the instant mentality, because the thing, and I'm not picking on millennials, so please don't take this as I'm old and like them darn millennials.
Shit.
But here's the thing, that if you can't see it, that's the problem right there. That you got to change. Change the mentality of, like I say, that I saw what's going to happen in 8 days. I saw that 24 years ago. I saw that because I knew that if I got one retirement, I was like, man, let me go get this other one. And there's something to be said about the long game. I mean, man, you would be surprised.
You got to have vision for it.
You will be surprised with what you could do with $5 a day.
You got to have a vision for it. And if you ain't never planned for a future, it's hard to be prepared for the future because you're too busy living in the moment. And that's okay. But then don't complain about other stuff. And that's what I'm saying. See, for most of us, our agent of change is in the mirror. If you want to change something, we got to change. As Tupac said, we got to change the way we eat, the way we live, the way we do business. We have to change that. We can't keep hoping that somebody else is going to change. See, when Samuel, after we had a few interactions, you know what the next thing we did was subconsciously to give each other a high five, exchange phone numbers. See, I bet there's some people who still ain't got Solomon's phone number because he don't view them as an asset. Because that's generally who we start giving our numbers to, people who we believe says. A lot of people just can't do it. We'll give them an email address because we ain't going to check our email. But we start doing these things because we want to be around people who, if they don't know something, they at least willing to learn something, or they bring something to the table that is educational or make us think a little bit harder. Because as I think Yolanda just said it, I know quite a few drug dealers. Most of the drug dealers I know are not successful. You know why? Because they were afraid to move up out the hood. I had one of my friends, my good friends, was a drug dealer. And he would always tell me, man, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't work for the white man. I said, but then you said the white man's the one who brought the drugs into your neighborhood. He's like, nah, you know what I mean? You said you can't work for a white man, but who are you working for? And what do you have to show for it? So when you have to get out this game in 10, 15 years, what are you going to have to show for it? Nothing. And when I leave this county job in 15 years, I'm going to have a pension. I ain't got to work no more. I'm going to still get paid. What's going to happen when you get out the game? Nothing. You're going to have to get another job. Your child support gonna get you in the lottery because you ain't saved no money because you've been scared to put it somewhere. You spending it like you gonna die tomorrow. The only thing left for you to do after your dope game hustle is to die. You ain't got nothing planned. You ain't no money. Whereas I took a little government job. I listened to some people tell me what to do. But when you become good at what you do, guess what? The first thing happens. People stop telling you what to do. Because I can bet on me. I became an expert in my field. So people start asking me. So damn, I'm a boss. But we don't want to do this. Again, we're always looking to see what somebody can do for us that we don't want to do for ourselves. What are you bringing to my table? Why do I need you? What are you doing? What you gonna bring? What you gonna bring? What you gonna bring? What you gonna bring? What you gonna bring me? What you gonna bring me? We sound like little kids. And then when we don't get shit, we blame everybody else for us not getting it. But we had the ability. We had the physical ability. We had the mental ability. We had everything we needed, but we didn't want to do it. Oh, well, they got this, but you ain't all them other people. You ain't other people. So why you want to be treated like them? This is who you are. What you willing to work for? Solomon, what you say? You retired as a sergeant?
Yeah, as a sergeant. But I looked up but I had, I had different streams, different streams of income that, the promotion game became irrelevant to me at that point. I said, shoot, I was making more than some majors. Just,
right,
looking up and saying that.
Right, because you get overtime and they don't. you got to learn the hustle.
You look up and validation is a drug. It's like looking for somebody else to validate you.
Yeah.
We
got to take
work. You work. You deserve this. You deserve that, and everything. And you waiting for a validation from somebody else. But no. That's why I stopped. That's why I stopped worrying about looking up and saying that if I was going to make the next rank. For what? Mine is mine.
And that's what it is.
So when I look up and say that, and then what killed me, Bill, is that us as a people will look at somebody else who's successful and try to find the cracks in what they're doing.
Yeah, because we need to bring them down. Hold that thought, Solo. I need to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back. Take us out, Ro. We should be back in like 30 to 45 seconds. It's gonna be a quick break.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Are we back?
You're back.
Okay. Yeah, my screen is still frozen on the V-Link, so I can't tell where we at. All right. Well, we back. Solo, you still with me?
I'm still with you, man.
All right. So yeah, cool.
Hey. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm with you.
Okay. So yeah, when we start looking at this whole process, a lot of what we got to start doing is internal. And and I tell people all the time, we got to start setting up our own mini villages. But for the village to work, you still got a mentality. What is the village going to do for me? No, you got to bring something to the village. All bring something, we become better. But if we all trying to take something, we don't. We have to bring something. We have to bring something. Once you make it exponentially better by the fact that everybody is putting in as opposed to waiting to pull out. Because there'll be times, I promise you, there'll be times the only thing you're going to get is a feel-good moment. You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears in this. But if we want us to have a positive, approach this poverty line and get past it, if we want to be able to not just go to the top of the mountain on the trip that we had to save up for, but we want to go up there and sit up there and live up there, we got to keep taking these steps. And yes, some of them are going to be baby steps. Some of them are going to be baby steps. But we can't keep trying to figure out what somebody else is going to do for us. And then we are beholden to them because they're giving us something to keep us in a submissive state of mind. This has got to stop. This is where we have to know who to blame for what we want. Who is the agent of change that can for us? One of the biggest things that I advocated for when I felt BLM, because we had a little conversation, and they was talking about all the stuff they wanted. And I asked one simple question: why do y'all keep doing stuff on the weekend? I got Solomon on the phone. Solomon used to work in the courthouse. Solomon, what judges work on the weekend?
No, none.
How many juries come in on the weekend?
None.
So if you want to influence people, you need to pick it during the week. Oh yeah, some of y'all gonna end up going to jail, but that's when you get the people get to see you now. Because the courthouse is in the middle of downtown and damn near every city. If you want to picket and boycott and make us think about something, block the judge's driveway. That little parking lot they go to. Block the entrance for regular people. Oh, trust believe the police coming, but you already prepared for that. But this is where you make a difference, not standing on the highway and slowing truck drivers down who can't deliver their stuff on time, and now they're losing money. Don't nobody lose money for being late to the courthouse. And once they know y'all out there picketing, the judge even gives for being in court on time. But when you stop a trucker from delivering his load because you're 75, 85, even if he wanted to support your cause, the fact that you just cost his family money means he don't like you no more. Those are just facts. When you boycott and you sit on the highway, all you're doing is getting every law in that jurisdiction overtime. You ain't doing nothing for the people. You got all them cops paid overtime to do nothing. They don't care if you stand on the highway because if you get hit, you right by the hospital. But again, all you're doing is you're more people than you're gaining. And everybody, oh yeah, we're going to shut 75, 85 down. Okay, so when Joe Blow with his pregnant wife trying to get to the hospital but can't get there because you blocking the highway, you think he's going to be part of Black Lives Matter? You think he's going to support? No, he can't. He ain't. And he hates them because they causing him a problem. The truckers hate them because you stopping them from getting paid. Truckers have to get their load there on a timely fashion. They can't say, oh yeah, that's not how it works. And we don't play the long game. We play the emotional game, and the people who are responsible, they play on our emotions. Oh, I'm going to get y'all this, I'm going to get y'all that, and they don't. Oh, we're going to fight for this, we're going to fight for that, and they don't. But we still fall for it, and then we blame other people.
Well,
Judge Brown is a... Yes, sir.
No, I was just going.
Say it again?
I was just going to end. I was just going to end on this is that, you know, we like I say, we got a midterm. We got a midterm that's going to come up, and you know, we showed up because we wanted one person out of office. We wanted one person out of office, and you see what the result. And you see what the results was. I'm telling you, like I say, that, hey, look, power, control, and everything else that matters, you got to show up. You have to show up. Not only do you have to show up, you got to get other people to show up.
Yeah, bring a friend or bring a friend.
You know, I like I said, I had an election. I said I had an election party that. Your interest was, you're interested in was with your sticker. Look up and say that, to look up and say that, hey, if we want to be players in this game, there's only one language that they understand. They either understand these dollars or they understand these votes. So, it's not about, like I say again, if I want somebody, I need somebody to have to tip the power to be able to vote on things that that I care about. Not what you're going to personally do for me. Not personally what are you going to give me more money or anything else that matters. Stop falling for those temporary feel goods. There's one thing that they understand more than anything else that matters, and that's, like I said again, either your money or your vote.
But they know we don't have the patience, because even when we vote, most people voted to get 45 out. I ain't knocking that. But what we didn't do is get the rest of his cronies out. See, we keep committing incomplete acts.
Right.
45 was a catalyst. But McConnell, them still there. All the people that was fighting against Obama still there. All the people that are fighting against you now, who want to tell women when they can and can't have abortions. All the people who want to overturn. You ever notice for all the stuff they ask for, they don't ever ask to make our right to vote a law instead of an act that's got to be rectified every 20 years, whatever it is. Rock can talk more about that one. But why ain't that a law yet? Why ain't that a law? Why are we still going through this thing where they can take away our right to vote? Right, where you at? Come talk real quick about that. What is that one? If you're still with me.
Say that again.
What'd you say, Darren?
When we're talking about the our voting rights, what's that act? Because it ain't a law yet. What's
the Voting Rights Act? That's what it's called. The one that
right?
has to be renewed every few years.
Why ain't it a law yet? And who about that? Who tells us to make that an issue with any candidate we gonna vote? That needs to be one of the things that you running for. That the Voting Rights Act becomes a voting right law.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that.
No, we don't. That's our
Because
fault.
you know why? The Russian bots don't tell us. They tell us to talk about gas prices. They tell us to talk about this. They tell us to talk about that. And guess what we do? That's what we talk about. Because we don't know no better. We sitting here watching them trying to overthrow votes. Overthrow votes. Overthrow votes. They know who cost Georgia the turn. So if they can eliminate us from the voting pool, they ain't got to worry about it. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about everything but that. And we don't see that because the Russian bots ain't told us that that's what we need to fuss about. The Russian bots said, "Oh, what's about $5 gas?" Hey, I'm gonna let you go solo because I'm getting your background noise. But I appreciate you calling, bro. I'm gonna
Man,
call you.
take
We're gonna
care,
talk about your
brother.
retirement
I'll be in
strategy.
contact with you.
All right, that's what's up. Thanks, sir. But when the Russian bots don't tell us what to talk about, we don't know what to talk about because we don't have bad information to regurgitate because they tell us, hey, talk about this. No, don't bring up the voting rights stuff because then they're going to want something. No, don't talk about this. And we fall for it. And everybody gets sidetracked. And, they say, what's important to black people? Agenda for everybody else. What have you done for me? Black, we don't have an agenda. I saw somebody talking about, yeah, they need to lower child support. That shows your ignorance. And yeah, why in the hell would the president get involved in child support? That ain't the issue. Ignorance. 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 But this is what we do. And I look at people, the people, listen, I ain't a fan, but I'm damn sure not even neutral when it comes to 45. It will never happen. I will never vote for him. If my choice was him or Bozo the Clown or Satan, I'm going to be flipping between Satan and Bozo. It will never be 45. That's my right. But when they want to, Jim Crow Joe got y'all black people fooled. I'd rather, stupidest thing I ever heard, I'd rather work for a known racist than an undercover. Okay. What makes him an undercover racist? He did this. I've been around racists. Ain't no racist I know would ever put a black woman second in command, old as he is, because if something happened to me, she get to take over. So that kind of screws a racist theory. Well, they gonna kill her too. It don't matter. If he die, she get to take over. So let's try another one. Oh well, what about when we see the news? And this is so Googleable. 95% all illegal ballots came from Republicans. But they still want to tell us all these Mexicans voting, all these dead people voting, all of them were Republicans. All of them were Republicans. Now you got Commerce. We ain't never seen Supreme Court judges coddle and take photo ops with candidates. Now you got Clarence Thomas, he hung with Herschel Walker. But they're trying to tell you that Judge Brown was going soft on child pornographers. But look it up. Who's in trouble for child pornography right now? Everybody keep trying to say, look at Joe in that picture. He's this. But then you got 3, 4, 5 Republican congressmen and senators who are under investigation. Ain't Matt Gaetz or whatever his name is, ain't he under investigation for sex trafficking, bringing minors across state line for the purpose of sex? But see, if they don't say it, we won't repeat it. We won't repeat that because they won't say it. They so good at shutting down any negative thing, and they want to keep talking about all this other stuff that means nothing so we can talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to get better, it sucks and hardship. But we got to keep doing what we're doing, spreading the message. Those that's going to come. Those that ain't. Now, I was telling Trina the other day, we got to quit worrying about bringing everybody along with us. All we need is the majority. All we need is a majority. The majority is 50.1%. So in a room of 100 people, if we get 51 people to come over to the light, that's all we need. We can't keep trying to bring everybody with us. That's our downfall. We know it's some crabs in the barrel who don't want to see people get. They don't want to work to earn. They don't want to earn with it. They just want stuff to be given to them. Why is that? Sam says the Voting Rights Act is to prevent discrimination at the polls. There are amendments which guarantee our right to vote. Yolanda, you still there? Roy, you still there? Can one of y'all answer that one? Because that's not what I recall reading about it. But Roy and Yolanda are probably a little bit more well versed on it. If not,
I'd have to look it up and verify.
We'll get back.
Yes, I have to look it up and verify it. But no, I think that it actually does have part of it. There's parts of it, from my understanding, that impacted the way that we can vote. Not necessarily just stopping people from being able to stop us from voting, but there I'd have to look at it again because it's been years since I've actually looked at it.
I'm gonna look it up, Sam. We're gonna get back to that one. But yeah, you know, we gotta stop looking at what does somebody bring for me. What am I bringing to them? What am I bringing to them? You know, part of this relationship with me and Roy, I can honestly say, is we bring something to each other. He brings me a forum where I get to do things, where I get to take in callers now and all this. I bring him some content. So everybody's getting something out the deal. Everybody's I'm gonna read up on this, Sam. He says 14, 19, and 24. Is that right? I'm gonna look at them. But we gotta just go ahead and put us first and act like it. We gotta convince people to stop being afraid to get ahead. It's hard work, and too many times we don't want to hard work. We want to take more than we give. We want to take, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, whatever it is. We like taking, but we don't want to give back. Keep taking from your bank account and stay rich. At some point, you got to put something back. You have a legacy. Right now, we're doing the same thing that some of our parents, you know, when I talk to people about something as simple as life insurance, which is how a lot of people got ahead. They got a nice little head start. I see a lot of us don't want to get life insurance. Oh, when I'm dead, I don't care. But then you got kids, player. You got kids, young lady. But they'll figure it out. But I ain't doing it. If you're going to choose to be a parent, part of your parental responsibility, which I can make this a law, is that you open up a life insurance policy. They're not expensive. You don't have to get $1 million policy. Think of how much better some of us would have been if we'd have got a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 head start. See, that debt that Antoinette was talking about earlier, and I ain't wishing death happened, so let's get beyond that. But if when a parent or whatever dies, if you get $10,000, $20,000, that helps you a lot. You ain't starting from the same place with everybody. You can make things a little bit better. But that means that we got to be concerned about our fellow man, our legacy, our children, our family. Most of us ain't. Most of us only consider what we can do today. How can I make my life better? How can I let Antoinette make my life better? How can Samuel make my life better? How can Roy make my life better? Never what I can give to them. How can I make this mutually beneficial? You know, me and Roy don't get to talk often. A lot of times we get to talk on the show, and that's probably how we formed our truest friendship, was doing the show. We don't, hell, he biz during the week, I'm biz during the week. This is the one time we're in the same place, cyberly. At the same time, we can have conversations. You know, he'll say something, I'm like, yeah, I like that. See, he brings something to the show other than his production. I see some of his posts and he'll tag me because he stole one of my sayings. Bring something to him. Everybody has a use for each other. We're good like that. But what is it? When did we become afraid of hard work? For all the generational post-traumatic slave disorder crap that we love to say we got, we didn't pick up hard work. We didn't pick up gardening. We didn't pick up farming. I forgot how that worked. Because does anybody think that slaves did? So why don't we? Oh, I ain't doing that. Well, I thought you said you suffer from PTSD, generational curses. Oh, that's right. Hard. It's insanity. It's insanity. So, like I say, I just want to thank y'all for spending time with me and we talk. I'm always open to ideas. Antoinette, Sam, Londa, Roy, Solo, Mark. What do we need to do to try to make this a little bit better? What do we do? Robert, to push our shows. What do we do? Make it better. Because it ain't gonna just this system of status quo right now is not gonna do it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sam gave me something and he gave me answers to the question. I love working with people like that. See, ain't like most people who ain't got no, go find it yourself. Well, shit, player, if you know where it's at, why don't you know? Because I ain't found it. Sam, give me all this. That's what I'm talking about. Section 5 of the Border, so I'm going to have to, it was removed in 2013. Okay, see what I'm saying? And if you ain't got people like that in your life who you can appreciate and learn from, you got a suck-ass life. You know, I was telling Trina, I had a social media friend who made a post about, you know, we got to be educated so we can start doing something. But he made a post 2 weeks ago when I told him it was wrong. He was like, whose side you on? Oh, so now you want to be educated. But You can't pick the type of education you get. Education is education. You can't only want to be educated on things that make you, that validate your point. Because then you're not learning anything. These are things you already think. It's when you start learning things that you never knew. That's the education. Don't say you want to have a conversation about something when you are resistant to listening and learning. The mind is like an umbrella. It's best when open. That's not what we do. I got my mind made up. Can't tell me nothing. I know this. This is what I know. But it's wrong. And I don't care. I've been doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Okay. Okay. DVP has money because he don't go around spending money recklessly. I got a budget. I try to stick within that budget. Do I splurge? Absolutely. I ain't hungry. But I ain't overly splurging either, just to prove a point to people that I could give a shit less about. And when we insist on educational information, fact check it. Fact check it. Do yourself a favor. Whatever your favorite news channel is, during the middle of a week, watch 2 other channels. You know, I watch Fox News just for the hilarity. I watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. I've watched headline news. I watch because you want to see. Then you can decipher what's legitimate and what ain't. Because you got different sources. If you only got one source of information for everything, you are gonna get misled. I don't care who that one source is, because sometimes they are gonna be wrong. Whether it's me, whether it's CNN, whether it's your mother, whether it's your teacher. At some point, they're gonna be wrong. You can't put all your eggs in that basket. Learn to do a little research from yourself. Accountability and responsibility. It won't hurt you. Oh, I ain't got the time, but you got time to go to the club and drink. See? Too much information. But when I know I got to go to the bathroom, I take my phone, I read CNN. I read MSNBC, I read the local news, I read different articles because I want to know stuff. I got time while I'm in there. Ain't no distractions. We make time, as we love to say, for what we want. So how educated do you want to be? How well versed do you want to be? How much do you really want the next generation to have it better than we had it? Because we definitely got it better than us. Are we doing the same thing for our kids? Are we doing the same thing for the next generation? Or we're going to just keep sitting back hoping that they get it right? Oh, be like me. Just learn by trial and error. Learn by trial and error. Yeah, okay. 55. I've been at work way too long, and I got to work early in the morning. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I left y'all a thank you up top, saying you gave me something to look into. I believe you know what you're talking about. But ain't nothing wrong with fact checking. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And soon as you know, I always preach you trying to keep me on the straight and narrow. I want to thank Solo and Travis for coming on. Everybody who stopped in to say something. Yolanda, I'm going to need you for a show one day. Quit running from me. So, this is Random Thoughts with DVP. And we're doing this on my JBN where we're unapologetically black. Unapologetically black. And we got a voice. Roy's going to have some things coming on. He's going to tell y'all about them later. I don't think he's going to do it today. But with that being said, let me have my drink because I was rushing. But I'm about to get out of here, so y'all know what it is, right? Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.